Welcome back to our program. Sorry about the interruption recently. I wasn't too well, so we couldn't shoot any more of the episodes. But we're back now, and this is week 61, and we're going to continue with Siu Nim Tau. And if you remember, we finished last time examining the Tan and the Jam actions in that third part of the form. What was left, what we hadn't covered in that movement, was at the end of the second short Tan Sau, we do Huen Sau, followed by Che Jeung, this downward palm strike. If we look at it from the side, we've come out with the Tan, sink into the middle, fire the Tan Sau forward again, and then without moving the arm, circle the hand around and attack the body. The Huen Sau action is done for two reasons throughout all our forms. Most of the time, when it's done with the arm extended fully, it's to build strength and power, and to have the ability to withstand the force of our own attacks. When we're doing it with a bent arm, it's generally for application, and the application being that Huen Sau can get me from one side of my opponent's body to the other side, or one side of a limb to the outside, or alternately I might want to go from the outside to the inside. It's also useful for breaking the strength of this technique, because this is a very strong angle. If I try to press it down, I can't beat it. But if I just do a little bit of a circle first, it breaks the structure. Why we do the action without moving the arm is because if I am in this kind of situation, I can't afford to let my arm move away, because that would let my opponent come through. I've got to maintain the elbow and forearm position and move around that point. If I'm on the inside, same thing. I can't afford to let the elbow out. It would allow him in. But if I keep the arm quite still, you can see how it shields me against his attack. Then the most logical thing to do after you've done the circling action, whether it's inside or outside, is hit the closest target, which means the body. It wouldn't make any sense to get around the obstacle and then try to come back up the top. He could take it away from me. But if I get around the obstacle and go straight for the body, it's harder for him to counter. On the other side would be no different. Once I get around the obstacle, I can come in and hit the nearest target. So this is why when we do the form, we're very strict at keeping the arm still and moving on the spot, not doing a arm action. It's a wrist action. And then the Che Jeung, the purpose behind Che means downward, sliding down. So what we're doing is we're sliding down, following the line we already have created. And the reason the fingers are turned down is also because it gives an anatomical advantage. If I try to press against his hip, make yourself loaded. If I press against his hip with my fingers pointing upwards, he can absorb that and stop me for quite an effort. I don't get the power straight away. But if I just turn my hand down a little bit, the difference is now he moves very easily. The reason being is very simple. If the fingers are up, the elbow is more or less pointing back this way. So the force is getting distributed away from my center. But when I turn the hand down, now the body's behind it. So it's easy to get power. That applies whether you're doing Che Jeung by itself or whether you're doing it as a combination of Po Pai. This angle is much stronger than this one. We'll leave it there. There's a little bit more to do with this section. We'll talk about that on the next one. See you then.